Hello, everybody. I'm Jeff,
And I'm Ann.
and we're from Simon Audiology and Tinnitus. Um, just wanted to kind of get a word out there and talk about what's going on right now with coronavirus. Today is March 22nd, Sunday.
We're Simon Audiology and Tinnitus. I wanted to do this video with a production crew, and Jeff wanted to sit on the couch. So we decided to do it, compromise and do it in the kitchen instead. I wanted to wear a nice suit, and Jeff wanted to not really care about that. So we decided that we would just do this in our Sunday afternoon clothes.
Sunday afternoon close.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, before we start, I've got a little riddle for you. What North American landmark goes backwards constantly?
Which one?
I'll tell you that in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Let's talk about coronavirus. Part of this, it's been hard for us to wrap our head around this. I think we kind of got waylaid, like all of you have. I think one of the things as we kind of thought about this, why it affects us so, is that audiology is really an opportunity for us to help people with hearing loss reintegrate into their families and their communities. So it's an opportunity for us to see people in connection with one another. And that's really what inspires us and gets us out of bed in the morning. And it really is to see that as a passion for us. It's something that we share. So in the presence of needing to make sure that people are protected from the virus, social distancing is one of the strategies. And social isolation is one of the consequences of untreated hearing loss. So on one hand, you want people in relationship. It's so much healthier if they're connected and in relationship, having a heart-to-heart connection with the people in their lives, their families, their friends, their loved ones, and to have community really torn asunder in this, in order to protect people from catching the virus. That's hard. It's hard. So we've been absorbing information. We've been trying to read, trying to get a handle on this, trying to make some decisions about us as a family and about how to conduct things at the practice. Good information makes for good decisions. And one of the things that we've noticed is that it seems like in these times it's long on conclusions and really short on the information, the actual solid information used to draw those conclusions.
And when you don't have the information, it makes you more fearful of what's going on, because you don't have that information. You're just listening to the news or whoever you might come across, and what do they know? They don't know anything either. So you just feel lost, and that just adds to the isolation.
Yes, and the point that you made about fear is a very, very important one. So your situation is unique. What works for you may not necessarily work for somebody else. Again, it's like, what's the best information, and how can you make good decisions for yourself? That being said, let's have a little conversation about fear. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about an experiment. And in this experiment, you see two images there. There's the line on the left, and respondents were asked to identify which of the lines on the right, A, B, or C, was the same length. Now, most people would look at this and identify C. So the first set of respondents were just asked, and people were, their error rate, as in, was 1%. So almost everybody in the first round of this experiment was able to identify C as the correct answer. In the second round of this experiment, a Confederate was brought in, and the Confederate was instructed to intentionally select a wrong answer. So for instance, they said B, and the error rate went up to 37%. And then they did yet another round, and in that round, they had two Confederates, and the two Confederates were instructed to agree on an incorrect answer. And the error rate went up to 75%.
So to make sure I got this right, when they were answering the question on their own, they got it right. But when they were listening to other people's answers, they were influenced and maybe answered wrong.
Right. Now, why would the appeal in that case ends up being conformity? So people being afraid not to look bad or to not conform with the answers of others. That's how they ended up making wrong answers. And in the present case, the consequences are so much more so much more dire. So rather than nonconformity, it's sickness or worse. So it's really important to maintain an awareness of where you are in your heart, where you are in your thinking. It's so important for your health. Now, whether you're unfortunate enough to contract this virus or not, and whether or not, if you do, your chances of recovery are so much better if you maintain healthy habits. So we'll get into those habits in a little bit about how to conquer fear, but I think you wanted to kind of just talk to folks about our availability and how we're handling open office hours in this time.
Yes, at Simon Audiology and Tinnitus, we are open our regular hours. So Monday through Thursday, we're open until 4:30, and Friday we close at 3. We've made some changes. So we are trying our best to schedule people so that there's not very many people in the office. So if you need something for us, it would be best to call ahead so we can say, hey, this would be a good time. It's not that you won't see anybody there, but we don't want a full waiting room right now. We'd like to get people in, take care of them, get them out, and then move on to the next person. So call us if you need anything. Also, we've increased how much we sanitize, so we're doing it quite a bit, and we think that that's important. We know that different people need different things, so you might feel that you need to be completely isolated, and that we completely understand, but we want you to hear as well. Yep. So if you need something, give us a call. You can drive up. We can send one of us out to collect your hearing aids. We'll bring them back into the office. We'll clean them. We'll get you supplies. We'll bring them back to your car, and off you go. So we don't really need to be in contact. We can help on the telephone. So often we can help you through something on the telephone. Give us a call. Those are our basic strategies going ahead. We plan to be there so that we can help you out with whatever you need.
Of course, things change. So we'll keep an eye on what sort of recommendations come out of the health authorities. Mm-hmm. We want to take care of you, and we're going to do so to the best that we can, given the situation. And
we're healthy right now. If yep. we become sick, anybody at the office, anybody in our family, then we will close the doors until we're well over that. So we won't put anybody at risk, but right now we're doing fine.
So some tips for staying healthy. One of the things that I have found when it comes to, I am more inclined to be afraid when I forget to practice gratitude. So there are things in your life, even in situations like this, that you can be grateful for. It might be a comfortable bed, it might be a roof over your head, it might be a temperature-controlled environment, but the food in your fridge, or just that you have loving people in your life that are willing to care for you. I can't overemphasize how important those heart-to-heart connections are. Even if you have to be physically distanced with folks, it's like if you can't have that hug, the actual physical contact, you can kind of do so in a virtual way, to the best way that you can.
A telephone call or a video chat, or hey, we could even go back to writing letters. It's great to get a letter in the mail. Seriously, write some letters to your relatives. I think they'll appreciate it.
Or even just a little note card. Mm-hmm. Little things like that can go a long way to just letting people know that you're there, and that you're connected, and that you're important to them. It's so very important. You can also keep yourself healthy. Watch your diet. I went to the store the other day, and after the paper aisle was cleared out, except for paper plates, and all of the cans of soup were cleared out, it seemed like everybody had a big, huge gallon or 2-gallon tub of ice cream. And I understand how, the comfort food could be so important right now. But just
Probably
like
not best.
probably, hey, your diet's important, exercise important, and with this sunshine, it's important to remember viruses do not last well in UV radiation. So soak up that vitamin D in your skin, get some exercise, and
The
practice healthy habits.
last couple days we've been as a family walking outside in the sunshine, and exercise plus that vitamin D, sunshine. You can sit outside if you're too cold with a blanket around yourself, but get some sunshine.
Yep, very, very good.
Mhm.
So, do you know what landmark goes backward every year?
Say it again. What is it?
It's the which there's a North American landmark that constantly moves backwards.
Constantly moves back, like a man-made or a natural landmark.
Well, I perhaps I should just tell you.
Okay, give us the answer.
Niagara Falls. It's the rim of Niagara Falls. So the rim of Niagara Falls constantly, because of the water, erodes, and so it constantly moves backwards. So there's a little tip for you. Aren't you so glad that you stuck around to the end of the video so you can find out the answer to that riddle? Listen, we want to make this a regular habit. We'll see how things go for a couple of days. We've got some more thoughts on this we think will be really, really useful for you. So we'll sign off for now. Take care, Godspeed, and we'll see you soon.